I, 34F, have been divorced from my ex-husband, 39M, for 7 years. We share 2 children, a 9-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy. He left us for a 19-year-old, didn't last long. 2 years later, when he moved back into the area and bought a house, we were able to establish some consistency for the kids. Our son had a tough time with the divorce. At 4 years old, he struggled with emotional issues, even hurting himself. Over the years, things calmed down, and by the time the kids were 8 and 6, they had their routine and things seemed more stable. My ex and I have managed well enough, usually arguing only when the kids weren't around. Our main issue stemmed from his tendency to make promises and lie frequently. In January 2023, he lost his job. He eventually got a job about 45 minutes away, with training for a store that was over 1.5 hours away. He began talking about moving halfway between our homes, which seemed reasonable. But after a month of training, he informed me he was moving 6 hours away, later found out it was over 8 hours, for a franchise opportunity. This news devastated the children, as we had been telling them he was just moving a short distance. Although he promised to visit on weekends, which he did for the most part. The weekend before his move, he took the kids to the zoo with a woman I had never heard of before. Back in deck before losing his job, he had mentioned bringing a woman and her teenage son to live with him. She was the one, he loved her. But when he lost his job, she left. The woman at the zoo was a surprise. When the kids got home, they mentioned her as Dad's friend. As usual, my ex was evasive when I asked questions, but eventually, after weeks of denial, he told me he married her. I was floored. He met her online in March, married her in June, and she had 5 children, none of whom the kids had met. My son went into therapy, needing support beyond just me, and my daughter cried for weeks. The summer of 24 was hard. My son was especially upset and decided to stop seeing his dad altogether. After a few months, he wrote a letter to his father, expressing his feelings, and agreed to try again after 5 months of no contact. Felt like progress for him to resolve the issues with his dad. My ex's new children, ranging from ages 5 to 13, were now around all the time. It didn't take long for tensions to rise. My son didn't want to continue the visits, not wanting to be around the new family dynamic. After some compromise, I agreed he would see his dad every 3rd visit, which led to improvements in his mood. He became much happier, had straight A's, and seemed more at ease. Things took a turn when he became distressed about visiting his dad again. He explained that his dad treats his stepchildren more favorably. Both kids have expressed their discomfort with the situation. My daughter still wanting to try and my son being done. AITA if I don't force my son to see his dad again?